Hey guys, welcome to Production Music Live. My name is Francois. In today's video, we're going to take a look at these more organic sounding drum grooves here. And our friend Sticks and Stones actually went through the woods and recorded percussions and Foley loops and did field recordings and recorded wood blocks and all these types of things. So this type of stuff. And recorded this pack Woodlands, and I'm going to use it to make these loops a bit more interesting. We are actually going to do a giveaway with the pack, so if you leave a comment below the video, in about 2 weeks we'll pick a winner from the people who commented below the video, so feel free to take part in that. All right, and let's go to the back here and go through these elements one by one. I have the basic song loop here with our kick and bass group, our drums group, and our instruments group, and we're just playing all these main elements without drums. So we have a dreamy progressive house or deep house style track, and now we are going to use this sample pack to make that a bit more organic, and it's organized into percussions elements, making your track sound more organic, or snares, white perks, kicks, and hats, field recordings, Foley loops, nice, and also song loops, so kind of ideas for songs with the full loop here and the parts of the full song loop. So plus the top element of the drums. So this is the stuff we are working with, we can use as inspiration, and also we have MIDI files here we can use as inspiration as well, for example for marimba. And so on. So these are the elements of those song loops down here. Okay, so let's get started with our drums group. I'm copying over a clap pattern here, which is looking like this. This position is playing early, this one is playing late. And we're playing perk balsa, so this one. Oh no, it's actually white perk balsa. Okay, so let's go over here, white perk, and yeah, that's a nice sound. I'm just playing the start of it and low cutting the low frequencies. To leave some room down there, also for our kick. And this is a second clap sound. We're layering with this first one, but this one is always playing the clap position. So we are going this is more like cutting through this element here, which is a part of something called perk meal percussion. I'm just using this back part of the sample, and then I'm putting in a low cut again and widening the sound slightly with the Haas effect. So all together. Okay, now we have an element called late clap, which I'm throwing in at times. So you see this is slightly playing before the fourth position of the clap in the MIDI. Yeah, and it has this whatever basically using the beginning of that sound just quickly. And you might be wondering, hey, this was kind of more high frequent. I have this filter applied here. I'm cutting it off at 6 kilohertz. And another one. And this is snare birch. Okay, so snares, birch. Yeah, so this one is adding the crunch on top. But I also cut it off. So if we open it up, it's too much for my taste. I wanted it more deep and more laid back. So I'm taking these elements a bit lower in the frequency range. And let's put in a hi-hat now. So 16s or no, offbeat hi-hat here with this one also playing C3. So it also has a nice texture to it. So hat birch. Yeah, and I'm putting a little bit of overdrive on top to make it cut through. And you can also hear the send reverb, drums return, and a little bit of mid reverb. What's that? 2 seconds, and that's 1 second. So we can actually just take one of them. And let's give it a bit of both. 16s hi-hats. Sorry, we're playing this pattern, so emphasizing on the 3rd and the 4th note with our velocities down here. And had Laurel. And this one is a bit too powerful, so I'm putting the decay down and the sustain down. It's also a little bit too long. And cutting some high frequencies. And mid-side EQ, cutting the mid. Quickly turning off the auto pan. We take a longer decay time. Kind of, yeah, it's too much, so we need it shorter. And we also want to move it between left and right. So I'm taking this audio effect, auto pan, dizziness, and then I'm just smoothing the shape a little bit more to, it's very squarish, and I'm just rounding the edges here. Playing it together. And now we have hat here. So this one's also an offbeat hat cherry. Oh, and that one has these tiny elements. So Woodlands cherry. Oh yeah, those are a bit nasty, so I cut them off here with this EQ. There's something up here around, what is that, 6K? Or 6.5K or something. Could cut that as well, but I thought this one here was especially nasty. Ugh. Okay, just getting rid of a little bit of this. Okay, time for some field recordings, like this one. What's this one doing? And I'm placing that gently into the background of things and just repeating it over time, just, you know, to give that wood atmosphere, but not have to stand out too much. And another one. Yeah, that one is more prominent. So minus 27 here in this case. What's that? Perk loop. But it's always a question of EQing. You can make all this stuff work together. It's no problem. You have so much information here. You can move around. Also the positioning of these loops. Okay, what do we have here? Perk almond. What's that? Okay, that's just at the end of our pattern to keep it interesting, not too much sounding like a simple loop. It's like these are the things that keep it interesting. You have that playing right in front of your clap position here. Super nice. Keeps it interesting, keeps it moving. I think this thing is doing the same thing basically. It's throwing around this sound at times. So if you listen to this track for the 10th time or something and you start focusing more on these things, and it's kind of rewarding in a way, or satisfying, maybe the better word. Okay, so also some noise tools here, a little bit of noise on top to keep it moving. I think I already showed this the other day with our Tim Engelhardt style pack. Basically a white noise with operator and then automating this time parameter here and throwing in a grain delay. Okay, and there we have our nice groove already going. And for the mid part here, I have this break part. And I wanted to make something a little more interesting, so I took some field recordings and put them into the break, and then took some of those percussive samples and reversed them right in front of the drop. So let's quickly listen in to what that sounds like. And listen to the whole break. Okay, so we have these field recordings, and you know, I make them overlap a little so it feels like it's never really stopping. So I have this one, and then this one, and then also this one here. Which is the same as this one. This one is just wasn't long enough for this 30 seconds part where I needed it. So I made it overlap here so it doesn't sound like it's really starting from the beginning, because you could easily think, hey, that's the same pattern, it's a loop. And that way it doesn't feel like a loop. Also mixing that back in here. And here we reversed perk cherry. And perk angelic car. I'm taking it back, hitting R. Yeah, and then also Georgia, which is feels like that doesn't sound too different when reversed. And then we also have this perk golden here, which I'm placing into the second hit of that bar and putting a Valhalla long reverb on top of it. So we have this impact effect. Yeah, and also I'm supporting the bass sound with some elements. So wood bass, I'm taking the kick almond. Where is it? Here. And I'm using a part of it to support my bass to make that bass feel a bit more organic in the higher frequencies. And doing the same thing here with those wood plucks. What's that? Cut that from a pluck sound here, from a song loop. Pluck. Yeah, and I'm just taking this tiny part here. And to put it together. It's important here. A low cut, definitely. And then sending it through the Saturn, in this case, a little bit of saturation. But this is really subtle. What else is interesting? I think track spacer in this case is an interesting technique, because just using the input of the deep plucks to just play the upper harmonics with those wood plucks, because otherwise would clog up the low mids. It's kind of a sidechain for this area. And piano felt, again, played with Noir. And we also have this thing playing in the back, kind of giving texture. And I cut this from this loop here, just took apart and consolidated it. So we have... Oh yeah, and here we have an interesting effect. Actually have this piano, and I have this H stereo delay by waves, and I'm just opening up the feedback because this piano was playing all the time. And now we're just like opening up the feedback and just using that delay tail to sort of create another type of texture here. So this is kind of a cool arrangement trick, you know, you're not going to do so much new stuff in this bar here, and you can keep it moving with these types of tricks. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you want to listen to the full track, I'm putting a link in the description where you can listen to it. Also, again, feel free to comment below if you want to win a copy of this Woodlands Volume 1 pack. We're picking a winner in about 2 weeks. And also consider leaving a like, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, visit us on productionmusiclive.com, our website supporting this channel, and I hope to see you next time.